Welcome, everybody. Here we go. Dharana Darshan, Part 2, Meditative Process. According to the theory and concept of yoga, meditation is a state of mind and consciousness in which there is alertness, dynamism, dissociation of mind and senses, and total concentration. It is definitely not a process to block out events or experiences which are constantly affecting us. In the Raja Yoga Sutras, the process of meditation has been divided into 8 stages. Yama, self restraint. You've seen, I've done a few shorts on Yama already with a few more to come before we've completed the study of Yama. 2, Niyama, fixed rules. 3, Asana, which is posture. That's translates to seat in English. 4, Pranayama, which is breath control. Pratyahara, which is sensory withdrawal. Dharana, which is concentration, what we're shooting at, right? Dhyana, which is actual meditation, which comes after concentration. And samadhi, which is transcendental consciousness, which comes after all that stuff. The first 4 stages are known as the Baharangas, or external yogas, in which an effort is made to harmonize the body, to awaken the pranic energy within the body, and to reach a point of total steadiness and equanimity within the body. The meditative aspect of yoga and yoga itself do not denounce the body as unnecessary. Rather, awareness is first generated for the body because the body affects the stability and peace of mind. If somebody pinches you, where do you feel the pain? In the part of the body that is being pinched or in the mind? The pain is experienced in both places. Therefore, the process of meditation is dealt with in such a way that the mental and physical experiences are totally contained in one field of awareness, so that nothing remains scattered. So yoga presents the chakra view of meditation, whereby, after having controlled the physical experiences by going through the techniques of Baharanga yoga, one enters the mental dimension and works toward the center of the mind. This is the basis of the whole philosophy according to yoga. You have to move towards the center of the mind from the periphery. What are the peripheral experiences of the mind? These are the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, the desires which are experiencing constantly and continuously in our lives. In order to get to the center of the mind, there has to be an awareness of the peripheral activity and control over it. This aspect has been emphasized in the aspect of pratyahara and dharana. The actual practices of meditation are of pratyahara and dharana only. Nowhere in the yogic tradition will you find dhyana mentioned as a practice or technique, but you will find a wide variety of pratyahara and dharana techniques such as tattva dharana, chitakasha dharana, and vyoma panchaka dharana. These different techniques lead one deeper into the perception of one's own mind, the subtle aspect, the vibratory aspect of the mind. Just as there are many layers of the physical body, on the outside there is the skin, inside are the muscles, nerves, blood vessels, then the bones, and inside the bones, the marrow. In the same way, there are also many layers or levels in the mental body. Therefore, meditation is not easy. If you think that closing the eyes and trying to stop the mind is meditation, then you can try it. But you will not be successful unless you've developed very strong willpower. Without the power of anashakti, vairagya, or non-attachment, meditation is very difficult to practice. If you are not attached to the experiences of the senses, ego, buddhi, which is intellect, it's buddhi, buddhi, for the guys that are giggling out there. Chitta is memory, and manas, which is the rational mind. Then you can experience spontaneous meditation. However, unless and until that happens, you will have to work through the practices systematically, stage by stage. The concept of dharana. The yogic term for concentration is dharana, which means to hold the mind at one point. This holding or binding of the mind to one point is the concept of dharana. In Sanskrit, the word dharana is derived from the root dri, which means foundation or base. So that object or concept upon which the mind is firmly based is the actual definition of dharana. In the yogic tradition, dharana belongs to the internal stages of Raja Yoga, which is the path of mental discipline. And by the way, whenever you hear the word Raja, it just means royal. It's the royal yoga. Dharana follows the stage of pratyahara, in which the mind is withdrawn from the external sensory objects and internalized. After separating the mind from the senses, the mind can go deep. It can create its own worlds while the senses remain outside. Once we are able to create this differentiation or distinction between the sensory awareness and the mental awareness, then the mind can be directed to go deeper into other states where dharana becomes intense. Dharana, which is termed as mental concentration, is deepening of mental awareness. As the mental awareness deepens, and when there is total absence of sensorial awareness, then dharana takes place. Intensity of experience. Dharana can take place in any form. We can compare dharana with the experience that two lovers have when they are together for hours and hours, but it seems as if only a few moments have passed. However, if something unpleasant has to be done, then one moment will seem like one whole hour. So the intensity which makes us aware of one moment as being a long time, or of a long time being as one moment, is dharana. In the positive aspect, dharana is deepening of awareness, where the concept of time is lost, where the objective consciousness is lost, and only the awareness of space remains. When there is a sensorial disconnection of mind, then anything which manifests internally in dharana actually becomes more intense and powerful. We have experienced this intensity in the form of an emotional outburst at the time of meditation. There are many people who become highly emotional as they go deep into the meditative states. These emotional outbursts are often attributed to some kind of mental, psychological, or emotional blockage. However, beyond this, there is another reason. According to yoga, when an intensity of thought, idea, or feeling is experienced unconsciously in the deeper layers of the mind, without the distraction of the senses, at that particular moment, the idea or thought form itself becomes a very intensive experience. Such an emotional outburst is also a state of dharana. The difference is that in this case, there is no support or basis to which we latch ourselves. Therefore, the intensity is very strong and we feel it coming from deep inside. As that particular emotional outburst takes place, we relate it to some event, situation, circumstance, or experience from the past. Childhood memories rise to the surface. Images of happy or sad times that we have had in life come rushing up, and we go with the force of those feelings. That is the external reaction which takes place in meditation when the mind is without a support. Therefore, it is quite common to see people crying, expressing their emotions, and going through different spontaneous physical movements in the state of dharana. Right now, with the externalized mind, we are conscious and aware of how our body has to react and behave. In the external state, there is also an unconscious control of prana, whereas in meditation, that unconscious control is not there. There is no control over the prana. The mind is cut off from the body, and the prana begins to move and flow spontaneously. So the body adopts different postures according to the movement of prana. When this disconnection takes place, the prana becomes free. The mental concepts become free from the conditioning of body, environment, and even local mentality. So that leads to something that I did want to talk about. I talk a lot about meditation in the videos I've been doing, and I'm like a little cheerleader for meditation, and I make it sound like it's the greatest thing in the world, and it is, right? But I haven't been pointing out the negative points, which aren't really negative. It's just about a clearing. It's about a cleansing, right? When we go take a shower, we don't feel real positive about the stuff that goes down the drain, and we don't really talk about it. We just talk about how good we feel after the shower, and this is essentially what we're doing. We're enacting an internal cleansing with everything that we're doing. So yeah, very often you'll hit blissful states and things will happen that bring you a lot of joy. You'll feel more in control in life. But at the same time, you can also have meditative experiences that bring up traumas. And sometimes that stuff will come up and you'll feel real crappy for a little while. And that's okay. It's another thing that you just have to look at and let it pass through you. The more you don't attach to the experience, the better off it'll be and the easier it'll be to let go. It is literally like jumping down the drain after the stuff that's coming off of you when you're taking a shower. You're never going to do that. And so you should never do that in meditation either. You should just let anything that happens come up. If you got to cry, cry. Let it go. That's one of the first things that you have to learn. Like you will have some heavy emotional experiences now and then that will really just need to be cried out. Let it go. Who cares? Nobody cares. And everybody who's done this practice for any time, they know this happens. And if nothing else, they're just going to feel for you. No one is going to ever look down upon you for this. So just see it as part of the practice. Many teachers have talked about this whole thing like the peeling of an onion, right? And it is very often when you're pulling one layer of that onion off of yourself is when you'll have an emotional reaction to what's going on. So just be aware of that. If that comes up, just roll with it. Okay. Yeah. Intensity of concentration. The important thing here is to keep the mind fixed on one point only. Any point of concentration can be used, such as a mantra, symbol, thought, idea, or any form. Intensity of concentration is generally regarded as dharana. There is a story in the Mahabharata which illustrates the intensity of concentration required for this practice. When Acharya Drona was teaching archery to the Pandava and Kuru princes, he asked his pupils to come forward one at a time in order to see a small clay bird that he had placed on a branch at the top of a tree, and to shoot an arrow through the eye of the bird. As each prince came forward, the Guru asked them the same question: "What do you see?" The first prince replied, "I see the forest, the sky, the tree, the leaves, the branch, and the bird." The Guru said, "Don't shoot, put your bow down." Then he called the next prince and asked, "What do you see?" The second prince replied, "I see the tree, the leaves, the branch, and the bird." The Guru told him to also put the bow down. All the pupils who came forward failed to understand the teaching that the Guru was trying to impart because he expected a very specific answer. Finally, Arjuna's turn came, and the Guru asked him, "What do you see?" Arjuna replied, "I see the bird's eye." The Guru asked, "Do you not see the leaves of the tree and the branch on which the bird is sitting?" "No," said Arjuna, "I see only the eye and nothing else." The Guru then asked, "Do you not even see the bird's wings or head?" Arjuna replied, "No, I see nothing but the eye. That is all." So then the Guru was satisfied and said to Arjuna, "You have learned well." Arjuna did not have tunnel vision, nor was he blind to the scenery around him, but the intensity of his concentration was so great that all his faculties of perception were fixed on a single point: the bird's eye. And just for the record, the Bhagavad Gita, which you've surely heard of, Arjuna is the main character in that whole thing, and that story is part of that. At the time of meditation, if there is oscillation in the mind, then concentration will not be experienced. Dharana is a state in which there is total one pointedness. It may come only for a second after a lot of practice. If you are trying to practice meditation with an oscillating mind, which is moving from one point to the next while different thoughts and ideas are coming and going, then it is not meditation or dharana or even pratyahara, because there are too many oscillations and distractions. So just closing the eyes and trying to fix the mind on an image is not enough. Proper training has to be given to the senses, to the mind, and also to the mental faculties as and when they manifest in order to perfect dharana and to come to the meditative state of dhyana. So do you see how much there is to this just from this little bit? It's a lot of people think meditation is just sitting down and doing nothing, and it is so not that. There's a whole science here, and it's worth studying. Approach to meditation. In the Raja Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, there is a sutra which describes the process of meditation. That practice becomes firmly grounded, which is continued for a long time with reverence and without interruption. This is the main sutra which must be taught to every aspirant. Three qualities are necessary for the achievement or fulfillment of any sadhana, whether it be spiritual or material. The first is faith or conviction. Even if you are working in a factory, there has to be a conviction that through the work you will achieve your goal. Without that conviction, there is no motivation to do the work. The same principle applies to the practice of dharana. There has to be faith or conviction that, yes, through my practice, I'm going to attain a goal. Whether it takes a long time or a short time is irrelevant. And now, one of the keys there is that the word faith, right? A lot of people get twisted up about that because faith may mean to them believing in a bunch of crazy stuff that no one has any reason to believe in, right? And this isn't the kind of faith that yoga is really looking for you. Faith that it's looking for is kind of like the faith that the sun is going to rise tomorrow, because it rises every day and we see it. And yeah, something horrible may happen, but most likely the sun's going to rise. It's that kind of faith because we've seen thousands and thousands of folks who have been through this, and it's tangible, right? They have effects that they can describe. And if you're ever around some of these people, you can feel it. So it's not the same as just believing some crazy thing that is generally unscientific and not believable. So don't get hung up on the word faith as they use it here. Continuity or regularity is the second aspect of sadhana. When you feel that you can fulfill your need with a particular sadhana, then you try to become regular in it. Sadhana just basically means your long term practice, the practice that you're deciding to do. During that period of regular practice, you try to ignore any distractions which come in the way. Once you set out on a journey, how long will it take you to reach your destination depends on your continuity. You can stop 20 times on the way, or you can just go on continually. If you stop 20 times on the way, it will take you longer to complete the journey. But if you go on continuously, you will complete the journey sooner. Continuity without a break is necessary in order to obtain the full benefit of the practice. Many times people say, I've been practicing concentration for many years and nothing has happened. However, most of these people do not practice regularly. Perhaps they practice only once a week or not at all for several weeks, and then they may have a spurt of enthusiasm where they practice for long durations. Right from the start, it should be understood that practicing 1 day a week is like taking one step forward, and not practicing for the remaining 6 days is like taking 6 steps back. I've tried it both ways, and I can tell you that this is true. How can you expect to make any progress in this way? Therefore, in the practice of meditation, there has to be continuity and regularity. Just as you find time to do those other things which you consider necessary in your life, in the same way, you have to find time to be regular in dharana. If you want success in this, it really is to best make it as regular as brushing your teeth and taking a shower. Practice over a long period of time is the third aspect of sadhana which must be fulfilled. The idea of practicing one thing for a long period of time is something which puts most people off. If we have to do something for a long time, we tend to get bored and lose interest. In external awareness, the mind follows the senses, but when we are internalized with the senses following the mind, then the time factor is not important. So we have to be committed to the practice of meditation without any impatience or expectation of achievement within a certain period of time. If there is expectation of achievement within a certain time, then it should be dealt with accordingly. You also have to consider that your approach to meditation begins just like that of a caterpillar, moving from one small leaf of a huge tree to another. To arrive at the center of that tree may be the eventual aim, but in the beginning, you cannot just go straight to the center. To do that, a different kind of awareness is needed. You have to start crawling from where you are, like a caterpillar which has a leaf in its world. As it passes the leaf, it reaches a tiny twig, which connects to a bigger branch, which connects to another bigger branch, which connects to the trunk of the tree, which goes down into the roots. Our mentality, our expectations, our life, our world is our leaf, and we are nibbling away at it. In fact, we are all caterpillars in our own right, nibbling away at our leaf. From this leaf, we have to get to the main trunk and eventually try to bore a hole in the center. This is the process of meditation. Cool. Any questions that I can try to answer for you? Because there's a lot of hecticness in that chapter. Yes, thank you, Desert Grandma. Thumbs up, please. Anybody who wants to thumb me up, I appreciate that. The ice bath thing. There's beneficial stuff there, though. It is sensory, but what it does to you internally is a pretty intense thing. Archery, yeah, archery is cool. I always wanted to take up archery too. I only did a little bit. Anything else? Alrighty. Well, then it's meditation time. So get comfortable. Sit with your back straight, as straight as you can get it. Remember, you're being pulled up like a puppet, a little string, right? Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Hold for a sec and release. Take a deep breath. Hold, release. Now, today we're going to do a little bit different. There's a gold ball on top of your head. It's about the size of a tennis ball, and it's made out of magical healing honey. And it's starting to descend on your head. It's just got warm enough, this healing honey, that it's starting to just melt down onto the crown of your head. And it's starting to saturate you on the inside and the outside. There is true healing in this gold honey. True healing. Feel it penetrating down your head, through your brain, into your eyes, the back of your head. Feel the warmth. Feel the strength of the healing. It's passing through your brain, passing through your nasal cavities, cheeks, the back of your head, brain stem, into your neck, down your neck. You feel it? You feel that healing? Down into your shoulders. Feel it going down your arms and your body at the same time. Just really try to feel it. Relax every part of your body that this passes through and feel the healing that it's given you. We're telling the brain, we're telling the subconscious that we're done playing games and we just want to heal this body and get on with what we're doing. Let it come down past the shoulders into your chest, through your heart. Feel that heat in your heart. Feel it opening you up. It continues to go down. It's always in the spine, continually pressing downwards into your belly area. Let a bunch of it really coagulate there, right? Because we carry all that tension down there. Just drop all that, let it go. Breathe out real deep as it's passing through your stomach. Just exhale. Feel it through the back, lower back, into the midsection, buttocks, genitals, base of the spine. Feel it, see it into the upper legs. Let them go, let them go. Just keep releasing everything, right? This thing inside is called the inner smile as the abdomen drops. You'll hear yogis talk about the inner smile sometimes. This is it. It's letting go more and more and more. And inside, you just feel like a smile. Past the upper legs, into the knees. Relax, relax. Into the lower legs. Golden healing honey passing through everything. As we get towards the bottom of the body, the honey at the top of the head is almost gone. It's almost completely filled your body. Through your lower legs. Takes a turn by your heels into your feet. And just as it ends at the tips of your toes, the ball of honey at the top of your head is gone. Your whole body and essence and soul is permeated with this healing golden honey. This practice right here has supposedly healed tons of people from all kinds of stuff. Obviously, you have to do it more than once, right? This is kind of a body scan combined with a healing visualization. Just sit with that for a moment and feel it. Feel it throughout your whole body. Continue to let go. Take the focus wherever it's called to release deeper. Make sure you're sitting real straight and your center of balance is good to last for a few minutes. And being that everybody here is experienced, we're going to shoot for about 12 minutes. Everybody good with that? Everybody ready? At the sound of the bell, we're beginning 12-minute. Stay focused at the very top of your head, right at the soft spot. Just keep releasing thoughts, keep releasing images, just keep releasing and focus more and more of yourself at the top of your head. Bring more and more of your focus that's inside your body, bring it to the top of your head. Okay? We're trying to focus ourselves into one point at the top of the head. Everybody ready at the sound of the bell? Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back to reality. We're all still here. How'd that go? Was 12 minutes terrible? Or is that in the wheelhouse of what's okay? One of the things is that that thing that you're getting going with the deep focus on top of the head, you can do this anytime. You can do this with your eyes open. You can do the exact same thing with your eyes open. And in line, in the bathroom, wherever you have a few minutes to spare. And it's a really good thing to do and it will improve your practice. Try to do that a little bit every day. If you do a little bit every day, that will really, you will see change. It works. One thing I want to say is that I didn't know what the small spot was. Yeah, it's basically on top of the head. If you look at a picture of the top of the skull online, you can see the way everything meets up at this one point. But it really is. It's just at the top of the head, just a little bit back. Yeah, I mean, you're fine. It's not. That's not the most important part. Yeah. Cool. Anything else? Any other questions? Anything at all? Yeah, the Google picture will help. But once again, you'll start to gravitate to that spot regardless of whether you're totally pinpointed on the thing anyway, just to give a general idea what you're shooting at. All this stuff over time, the goal is to really feel into these centers and not depend on, external devices to find them. I'm gonna do ice baths and hot baths without music today. Nice. Yes. Did anybody miss the tambora that I usually have going? I forgot about that today, but that's really not something you need, or it's just to keep it interesting and fun. Sometimes it helps a little bit when you're first trying to focus instead of just dead silence. But you should be able to do this in dead silence too. You should only, before too long, you'll be able to just get away from all of that and release the telephones of the ears, as Yogananda used to say. I like dead silence. Yeah, it is. It's nice. It definitely it makes it easier to make a quick journey inward. So that's what this is about. Try to do a little bit every day. A quick body scan. You don't need to do that long, but 12 minutes is a good start. If you can do a quick body scan, 12 minutes every day, you're on the road to a real practice. A real practice. And I know there's lots of meditations out there that you hear, and they're called meditations, but they're not really meditations. Where there's somebody walking you through a forest and is calming you down, making you feel good. Yeah, that's all great. That's just about calmness. It's not about actual meditation. Actual meditation is you going within and doing this thing, not a bunch of mental, psychic stuff to make you feel good. No, there's no problem with that, but it's not the same thing. It's kind of a misnomer to be calling that stuff meditation, is the real truth of it. Cool. Anything else before we shut this sucker down? Thank you guys for all coming. I appreciate all of you, and I hope it helps you. And feel free to drop me an email if you need any more information, practice, whatever. Get a hold of copy Dharana Darshan. If you need one, I might be able to score one up for you. Just hit me up. Okay. All right, everybody. Peace out. Have a wonderful week. Hopefully, I'll see you next week. Sarve Bhavantu Suki Naha. May all be happy. Bye, Tina. See you, Omar. See you, Weather Dragon. Thanks for showing up. Clark, thank you for your help. See you guys next week.